Italian Football Podcast.
So, just as a little bonus segment for the show, we are going to, I don't know if it's really, you'd call it a bonus, it's a bit depressing really, but we're going to talk about Italy and the World Cup playoffs, because Norway thrashed Moldova 11-1 on Tuesday, which means that now it is absolutely 99% sure that Italy are going to be in the playoffs. In order to not go into the playoffs, we basically need a favour from the team that we won't name. We're not good. Put it this way: we can't win the group on goal difference anymore, because Norway's goal difference is it plus 16 on Italy now, which is
unless Italy score like 100 goals on Moldova as well.
Yeah, but they're not going to make up plus 16. The goal difference is gone. I mean, that's just not going to happen. So basically, yeah, it's going to be 99% Italy going to be in the playoffs. So of course, we're now looking ahead to the playoffs. So let me explain first of all how the playoff system works. The 12 group runners-up in the World Cup qualifiers from UEFA will go to the playoffs, along with the 4 best-ranked group winners of the 2024-25 UEFA Nations League. Now, if those group winners from the Nations League have already qualified through the World Cup qualifiers, it basically moves down to like runners-up, and then from the Nations League, and they end up getting access to the playoffs. So once those 16 teams enter the playoffs, there will be 4 playoff paths drawn, with 4 teams in each of the 4 playoff paths. The playoff matches will be, and I think this is the most ridiculous format ever, it's disgraceful. There'll be single leg semi-finals followed by single leg finals, and those will take place in March 2026. So what will happen is these 16 teams will be put into 4 pots. The 4 teams with the best FIFA ranking, so that Italy will be one of those for sure, will go into pot 1. And then, depending on your rankings, pot 2, pot 3, and then pot 4 will be those 4 leftover Nations League teams that didn't qualify from the qualification of the World Cup through UEFA qualification. The teams from pot 1 will meet those from pot 4, and the teams from pot 3 will meet teams from pot 2 in the semi-finals. The semi-final will be played. The semi-final will be played at home of the better placed team in the FIFA ranking. So that means that Italy will definitely play their semi-final at home, and then a draw will determine the venue of the final. So, assuming Italy win their semi-final, it's a draw. It's a 50-50 whether Italy play the final at home or play away from home. As I said, one-legged games. So 90 minutes, then extra time, then penalty shootout. Finally, the 2 winners from pot 1 versus pot 4 in the semi-finals will meet the 2 winners from pot 2 versus pot 3 in the final. So that's important. And the reason why that's important is it basically means that Italy can't meet any of the other pot 1 teams. So Germany, who at the moment have a realistic chance of being in the playoffs as well, Italy wouldn't be able to play Germany. So that's some relief. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you who Italy's possible opponents are. Because they will be in pot 1, their possible opponents in the semi-finals are currently Sweden, Northern Ireland, Moldova, or San Marino. And in the final, it's obviously difficult to know for sure now, because a lot can change, who comes first, who comes second. But at the moment, the possible final opponents would be Slovakia, Armenia, Scotland, Greece, Iceland, Georgia, Turkey, Serbia, North Macedonia, Wales, or Czechia. So, first of all, Nima, let's do semi-final. Sweden, Northern Ireland, Moldova, San Marino. Who do you want to play? Who do you want to avoid?
I don't mind any of those teams because people say, "Oh, how can you say Sweden?" Do you have any idea what a cluster F of a team Sweden is under Jon Dahl Tomasson? They literally just lost the other day to Kosovo. I mean, they are a mess defensively. He should never have been appointed. But Sweden, the Swedish media and everyone around the Swedish national team is obsessed with playing like Barcelona. Even though they don't even have Girona technical ability in midfield, but instead everyone, because they have so much attacking power, Elanga, Isak, Gyökeres, people seem to think that the rest of the team is that good. The firepower up front is fantastic, but the rest of the team is not good enough to play the kind of football they want. And Jon Dahl Tomasson is not defensively solid, and he's not good enough at this point. So at this level, in my opinion, I think he should never have been appointed. So Sweden are wide open, and Italy can. So Sweden, yes, they are. Sweden have firepower, as I said up front, but they're not impossible to beat. This isn't like when Sweden under Ventura played Jan Andersson Sweden, which was a tight, gritty, defensively organized team. Sweden are open. So I think so I wouldn't mind playing Sweden. Obviously, I'd like to avoid them because, with all due respect,
Nima would rather play Sweden than San Marino, basically.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, of course, San Marino would be ideal because but I'm just saying I don't think Italy should fear this Sweden under Jon Dahl Tomasson is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I don't. For me, I think it's obviously on paper you want to avoid Sweden, but I'm saying this is a very beatable Swedish team because it is very wide open defensively.
Yeah, you still want to avoid them though. You don't know; they might change the manager.
If they change the manager, it's a different ball game. But I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Sweden don't usually do that. It's not in part of Swedish football history to mid qualifier change the manager. They don't do that in Sweden.
And the final itself, who do you want to meet out of those teams? I'll read them out: Slovakia, Armenia, Scotland, Greece, Iceland, Georgia, Turkey, North Macedonia, Wales, Serbia, Czech Republic. Who do you want? Who do you want to avoid?
I want to avoid Serbia. I want to avoid Turkey. I want to avoid Greece. I want to avoid. No, I mean the rest.
I want to avoid Scotland. I think Scotland are very dangerous.
Yeah, Scotland are a good side as well.
They've got quality, and they have players playing in Serie A, and they know us.
Agreed.
Yeah, I want to avoid Scotland.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get the team I'd want to get is Armenia for sure. I mean, I would say North Macedonia, but like there might be a few. We might get triggered a little bit. But at the end of the day, look, other than those two teams, I wouldn't want to play any of those teams away in a one-legged match. You really are at risk, and the problem is with Italy, and why I'm so fearful about qualifying. It's not just it's one-legged game, and anything can happen in a one-legged game, which I think is a terrible format. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that with something so big on the line, that UEFA or FIFA have organised World Cup qualification playoffs with one-legged matches to get to the final. Especially when they've expanded the World Cup to 48 teams, yet made it no easier at all for European teams to qualify. It's still only one team that qualifies from the group. It should be two. Then you get South America, which is an absolute joke of a qualification. What is it? 7 of the 10 teams qualify. I mean, what is the point of even having that qualification? An absolute joke. It's pointless. Absolutely pointless. That entire qualification. How many games they play? Like 20 odd games or however many it is, and 7 teams qualify. I think one gets a playoff as well. One gets a playoff place. I mean, it's an absolute farce. Then in Europe, only one team qualifies. The second place teams have to go to a very, very dangerous one-legged semi-final, one-legged final, which you might be playing away. 4 days rest, or 3 or 4 days rest between the two matches, where you might get an extra time and penalties, be exhausted for the second leg game, which you have to fly away to go and play. It's the most. I mean, it's just only UEFA from FIFA could come up with something so stupid in a 48-team World Cup. But so that's ridiculous. But the other thing is the pressure. This is what I'm worried about the most with Italy. Is I just feel like it's become so much. So the players, the coach, everyone is under so much pressure because we've missed 2 tournaments in a row. We've had a bad Euros as well, which has made things even more difficult. We've changed coaches. This qualification campaign is already doomed, which is adding the pressure on already. And they don't have too many players to pick from. I just think that those players are just go into those games with it's just too much for them. I think it's become a big
a mental block. Yeah, exactly. And I was going to say, do you remember how it was with England, the attitude around the England team before Southgate took over? Yeah. That's how I feel about the Italy side now. Is a negativity in the air before the game has even started. And that is a worry. Italy have never been in this position before, as far as I can remember. Where you're almost going into every game with this negative energy around them, and it's harmful. And I think it took England forever to get rid of that. It took Southgate to bring in completely young players from scratch and just build from nothing. Italy don't have the depth that England do in terms of the youth that they can do that, because their young players don't play, whilst young players in England play in the Premier League. So I don't know how to address this. I do think that Gattuso, the fire he shows and the commitment he shows is important to get these guys fired up. But I do worry about the mental element of that. It's starting to. It's not just no longer just having this 2 World Cup. It's almost become like a self-fulfilling prophecy now that Italy will fail as soon as they put the Azzurri shirt on, which is insane to me.
I agree. I think you've nailed it. I think it is very, very good, very, very apt comparison. It's like England. The coaches get absolutely destroyed. They get in the newspapers with pineapples on their head and turnip head, and that's what's happening. Ventura, what was he? Spalletti. I mean, these managers all getting mocked. And then the players. I mean, it has become impossible, and we need to break that duck.
And I hope that Gattuso is the guy to do it. I really do. I hope, because at some point this has to stop. And it's a weird situation. Italy have never been in this situation as well. Do you know what I mean? Whereas other countries have more experience from it, but this is a new territory for Italy. And how do you break the evil cycle, the evil circle? I just hope that Italy can, just try to win the remaining games, end the qualifiers on a positive note, beat Norway at the end. And even if Norway win the group, at least you got something to build on. You know what I mean? To change the atmosphere around the team, the mental aspect of around the team, the negativity.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's leave it at that. Extra long show for you today. Previewing. Well, lots of previewing. Final. Just will Italy qualify for the World Cup?
Yes, Italy will qualify for the World Cup. I think Italy will. Yes, I think they'll play. I don't care. I don't really care who they play in the semi-final, but I do think Italy will pull it together and get to the World Cup. I do. I really think so. If they can avoid Germany, then yes.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Let's hope so.
So you're not making a prediction, then, are you?
I mean,
you need to stop with this superstitious nonsense.
What do you want me to say? Okay, I think Italy will get to the World Cup. Yeah.
Ah, good.
Whether they'll play in the World Cup or not, we'll see. Yeah, Italy will make the World Cup. Yeah. The Cricket World Cup. No, Italy will make the Football World Cup. Yeah. Anyway,
right.
let's leave it at that. Thank you, everybody, for listening, for watching. We will be back next week reviewing the return of the Serie A match day 3 and some big games, including the Derby d'Italia between Juventus and Inter.
And Champions League on Thursday, and a Q&A as well. So all patrons, please do remember to send in your questions via DM on Patreon.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.